Hello, welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I'm Michael Carvelli, joined by Nick Arthur and the ice cream man, John Terry.
Cheers.
What you got? Is
This
it
is
just chocolate, like a chocolate covered ice cream cone?
I'm trying not to chew hard so it comes through in the mic, but
Yeah.
it's a Trader Joe's mini ice cream cone.
Okay.
It's chocolate chip ice cream with a chocolate cone, and there's chocolate fudge at the bottom. It was covered in chocolate.
Wow.
For our YouTube people, you can see it because YouTube. That's good though, man. Quality.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's good. It's cold here, but you gotta love the ice cream. I love ice cream cones and ice cream sandwiches. My favorite.
You're not as bundled up, which is nice to see.
I am wearing a long sleeve shirt and a sweater.
Yeah. Oh,
And I have pants on.
you're just layered.
I prefer straight ice cream.
I also have a heater.
I do too.
That's cheating.
You say that again?
I prefer regular ice cream. Like I like ice cream sandwiches, ice cream cones, but the best part of them is the ice cream. So like, why not just give me a bowl of that and let me go to town.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. I do like the texture and the crunch when you have a cone. You can just add something different to it.
What is your favorite ice cream treat outside of like a regular ice cream, like pint of ice cream, like Nick says? Go ahead.
McDonald's McFlurry.
Great choice.
Interesting. I would count that as ice cream.
It's got like a hybrid milkshake ice cream, but you eat it with a spoon.
Fair.
I probably prefer like a Dairy Queen Blizzard over the McFlurry when it comes to that kind of thing.
I'm probably with you, but those I usually get the Oreo McFlurry just so it's not completely filled with like straight sugar and there's a lot of just vanilla ice cream there. Man, some of those Dairy Queen ones, I'm trying to think. I mean, they get over the top with their cookie dough and
see the cookie dough is the best one.
The cookie dough.
I know it is. I know it is. Best one, worst one for you, which is how it always works.
I remember we had that little run when we would go to Dairy Queen at the DA where it would be the cookie dough Blizzard with chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla.
I did not do that. I don't do chocolate ice cream. Vanilla only.
What?
And you want to know? And we've talked about it on the show before. The worst ice cream. Michael knows what it is.
It's the second. Oh my god.
The one with the strawberry in it.
No, mint ice cream is the worst ice cream.
It's so not true.
I'll put my toothpaste in the freezer if I want to get the equivalent
favorite
taste.
Of all time. I get cookie dough and then I get mint chocolate chip of some kind. Those are like the two options. 1A, 1B.
I like not Rocky Road. What's it?
Moose Tracks.
Moose Tracks. Moose Tracks is my favorite.
Peanut butter.
I also like a good just like a solid chocolate, just like a solid chocolate ice cream. Not like your cheap chocolate ice cream, but like nice and creamy, a little rich, you know. But my favorite ice cream treat is just a regular ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
The summer
classic.
Give me one of those classic ice cream sandwiches. Oh, I love it.
I get so
Klondike, like Klondike bar.
Klondikes are messy. You talk about messy ice cream.
Here's what I do. I put it in a bowl.
Oh,
well, they have the Klondike brand kind where it's not like that hard shell that breaks and the inside is like a runny ice cream. They have like a brand where it's still a sandwich. Like they have a Klondike Oreo hybrid sandwich.
I don't think I realized that.
I'm gonna try to find it here. You guys keep going.
But yeah, that was I brought this up because I wanted to talk about Klondike bars and liking those. Even though I don't like the mess, but I do the bowl and it's fine.
What about the chocolate ice cream Klondike bars? Do you ever have those?
I think I have. I've had the mint chocolate ice Klondike bars, and they're great. It genuinely makes me so furious when you talk about how bad mint ice cream is.
This is what I'm talking about right here.
I forget we have this capability now. Oh, I have seen those. I've never had those before though.
Those are incredible, and they're not messy either because the ice cream sticks really well to this like doughy Oreo cover here.
While we have this up, see the chocolate chip one?
Yeah,
that's like another one of my favorite. Like you give me a chocolate chip cookie with ice cream in the middle.
Those are good.
Love that.
Like if I go to
right here,
so a couple times back when the world was normal and I worked in an office, every now and then an ice cream truck would come down and everyone in the office would just like immediately go down to get ice cream. Mm-hmm. And that was always my go-to from that truck because they wouldn't have regular ice cream. They always had the little treats like that.
Yep.
So that's the go-to for that.
John, is that cat declawed?
Holy crap. He just did you see that?
Yeah. Well, Are there?
He
Does
just
he have?
came after me.
Does
Oh,
he
he
have
has
claws?
claws. Oh yeah, he has claws. That's he doesn't have teeth, but he has claws, man. Get out of here. Man, that was crazy. He like
Yeah,
looped on him
I
and just,
I've had
I
cats
was
growing
trying to
up, but
not. I was trying to ignore it.
holy crap. Sorry
yeah,
about that.
that would have been a
Now he's
mess.
staring at me. I think he's like gonna come attack me. No, he definitely has claws. Very much has claws, long claws.
You experienced it.
Which is why I have just cuts all over my arms.
I got cat scratch fever as a kid.
What's that?
It's an actual
Is
thing.
that
It's
an
not
actual
just a
thing?
song. It is.
What is it?
It's just basically just bacteria that gets under your cat's nails and they scratch you and you just get a little bug because of the cat's nails being dirty.
When he
basically.
scratches me, I get like they swell up pretty bad. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it happens.
He just wants attention.
I just got a fever, a little sickness, and I don't know. I'm assuming the doctor was just like, yeah, I noticed you got this scratch on your arm. Where's this from? And it's like, oh, it's from the cat. Oh, well, okay, it's probably that.
Interesting.
you know.
Never heard of that. I'm shocked. I've never gotten it, to be completely honest with you. The number of
Got a
times
clean
I've been
cat.
scratched.
Got a
Maybe
clean
you
cat.
have.
Well, he doesn't go outside too,
It's
so
existed until now.
you know, like as long as we're cleaning the floors and he's not eating the bugs, we're good.
Right.
True.
God, now I want another ice cream treat, Carvelli. Why do you have to bring that up? We had not planned to talk about that.
Technically,
That was
you brought it up because you had it. So
Lily brought it to the
the
episode.
podcast. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
because yes, that was not on our outline. But I don't blame you. I would like some ice cream now too after watching you eat one. But
I'm probably going to.
how's everything been this past week or so? I don't know. It feels so weird.
I have something I want to discuss with you guys
Yes, that's what I
regarding
wanted
a Sunday night experience here. Nothing happened, that was severe or anything. I mainly just wanted to gauge your understanding of this and your survival skills in general as it relates to this. John is probably going to be able to tell me the model number and everything else about this item I'm getting ready to mention. But anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night to beeping. And
Change your batteries in the smoke detector.
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
It was a beep that would happen like once a minute. Just beep, nothing for another minute, then beep. No, and it's one of those things where it's like it slowly wakes you up, and after like the fourth or fifth one, your dog is like licking your hand, and there it and like now you're awake. So yeah, I assumed it was smoke detector. I thought it was the one above us. Like I'm like half asleep, so I don't want to stare at the smoke detector for a minute waiting for the beep. So like I take the first one off, and I'm like, oh, that had to be it. And then I hear the beep again, and it sounded like it came from the other room. So I come and take the other one off, and then I hear the beep again, and I go to the spare room, and I hear the beep again. I take it off. And then I hear the beep again. I'm like, what is this? And it was the carbon monoxide detector.
That was my next guess.
So
battery probably.
I changed the battery, happened to have a 9-volt one spare, and I put it back on the wall, and I go and lay back down in bed, and Francis says, are you sure that's what it was? Are you sure it wasn't like going off? And I was like, well, shit, now I'm not gonna be able to sleep, right? So I did a Google search of like what type of beep that detector would make if there's an issue. John,
was this Sunday night into Monday morning, or was this Saturday night into Sunday morning?
Sunday night into Monday morning.
Ooh,
around
that's the
1:37 a.m. Pacific time.
That's the worst because you got to get up for work too.
Oh, it was fine. I mean, I went back to sleep. It's fine. So my question is the sound that was made a carbon monoxide detection or a low battery? And how do you know the difference between the types of beeps?
The reason I know is because at Husky Ballpark, we had one of those in every indoor area, and every spring, like in January, they'd all start beeping. And one of the things we did before the season was we replaced the batteries on all of them. So that is 100% just a low battery alert.
Gotcha.
A carbon monoxide beep I would assume, I've never actually heard one go off for carbon monoxide, which I guess is a good thing, but I imagine it would be like a siren-y thing, right?
Yeah,
I imagine it would not be like a every minute or so. I feel like it'd be a fairly consistent thing potentially.
after some Googling, that I can confirm that's the case. So hopefully, I'll save one life today from our hundreds of thousands of listeners here. That a beep per minute is a low battery indication. If it does like some crazy beep 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 beep, that's when
Open a window.
I think it was like 4 beeps and like a long hold is whenever there's an extreme issue.
That's cool. You have one of those in your apartment. I don't think I have one of those in my house. I probably need to get one. Do you have one of those in your apartment? A carbon monoxide detector? You do. Huh.
He's safe.
I wonder if my
Jamie
He works in
Carvelli
fireworks.
does
facilities and
not mess
ops. He
around.
knows.
Jamie Carvelli does not mess around. He gave it to me when I got here.
I'm adding it to my
Additionally,
list.
I want to point out when I was growing up, I thought that it was a carbon dioxide detector, and it made no sense to me because I'm like, wait, we're all like breathing out carbon dioxide, so like, of course, it's going to detect it. So when I don't know, when I got older, I guess I realized it was carbon monoxide. So
I like it.
That's wild. That's annoying though, too. Shit. Did you
batteries
a question?
replaced.
The smoke detectors, did you take them completely off? Because are they hardwired in or is it just a battery? Like, and then did you put them all back that night?
I did not put them all back that night, but I didn't take one of them off. I didn't take the one off in our bedroom because actually that one had woken us up like 6 months ago for the same thing. So I knew that battery was good. So the others around the house I put back up the next day. So they're up now, but I didn't do it that night.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. That was at least you left one up. So if there was smoke like in your bedroom, they would hit.
Right.
The other night actually, when we were doing the 2-man show last week, we were about to start recording and all the smoke detectors went off here. It was wild. We had never had them go off and like something got burned in the oven and it was like all of them, like one triggered another. It was crazy. It was just like a whole ton of beeping and all I heard Mariel was screaming upstairs. I didn't know what to do.
And then I
On
remember I
this,
accidentally muted you instead of I had to get up for a second, so I tried to mute myself, but I accidentally muted you for some reason. And you were taking like a while to get back, and I was like, "Oh no, is there something wrong?" But I couldn't hear from your end if there was anything wrong.
I actually, I lost my train of thought. Oh, on this note, I saw a TikTok the other day, and we can move topics after this. Of a girl who had like a big speaker set up and had gone to YouTube and typed in fire alarm sound, and she was like in a Zoom meeting, and she like turned it on, and it's just like, oh, I'm so sorry, the fire alarm's going off in our apartment. I'm gonna have to step away for a little bit. I'll let you know whenever we're okay. Okay, and like went out of the Zoom meeting, and that was her way of getting out of work.
I love that.
Brilliant.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We should.
That's way more creative than like the people who have like the background or, my internet went out. Fire alarm. Whatever.
Fair.
Yeah. So I think that's probably a good time to talk about address our spring reset that we brought up a few weeks ago.
Spring reset.
Just because I think it has to do with our living arrangements and whatnot. Nick, you were not there for this episode. We basically brought it up as a post-COVID evolution of the typical spring cleaning.
Okay.
Which is like, every spring you go around, you do a little deep clean, you throw a bunch of stuff out. We're saying now we're kind of resetting as this spring hopefully marks the beginning of us starting to get back to a more normal, maybe some other people come into the house, whatever.
It's not just like cleaning. It's like doing like some
it's
tasks.
not just a normal spring.
Yeah.
It's it's on a whole different level this year with
We're back.
Yeah, the new beginning. So I'm assuming you guys took your cleaning to another level to match that.
To a whole new level.
Whole new level.
Okay.
Did you do it as well this weekend?
Yes. So we actually had people over on Saturday night for the first time ever since we moved into this house.
I was about to ask if that was the first time since the
yeah. Other than when my sister visited, but so that was fun. So we cleaned the entire house because it has to be clean or whatever. And then we did like a laundry list of things that was super fun. So I fixed my grill this weekend. Grilling, by the way, is like my new love. Holy shit. You stand on a deck. It's nice outside. You breathe in the fresh air.
Got a beer.
Got a beer in your hand, and you hear the sizzling of the grill and the smell. And you got a little bit of the smoke, and you're kind of looking around, and you're just so present in that moment. And I cannot wait to grill. And it's been like 60 degrees. It's not like it's been warm here. Like today, I was grilling in like 52-degree blustery weather, and it was just beautiful. You watch the planes go by. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. So my grill had worked for the longest time, and all of a sudden it just stopped. Like the igniter wasn't working. And I tried to like change the battery on the igniter, didn't work. Just swapped out the igniter, and now it works better than it used to. Pumped.
Voila.
Then we changed the air filters on the car, which was a super fun experience. I sent you guys some Snapchats about that. That was a lot of fun.
So fun.
God. So much fun. Just really great. Just awesome.
It was cool. I bought a lawnmower this weekend, which I've been meaning to do.
Man.
Push mower?
It's an electric cordless push. It's like a push mower. Like you push it. I mean,
The
you don't
answer is
write on
yes,
it.
it's a
Like
push.
you don't.
Electric, so it must be pretty. It's just small, but probably all you need for your back area.
Yeah,
There,
it's
right?
like a 19-inch. It looks like a gas mower. It's just electric. It runs off a 60-volt battery. It has like 45-minute runtime, which is fine.
Wow,
Um, and
good for the
then
environment.
yeah, great for the environment, and it's quiet, so you can mow whenever you want to.
Do it at midnight. Go do it after we're done with this.
Well, it's not here yet. I would, because I need to mow my grass down because I'm getting ready to overseed my backyard and start my journey.
We said not to talk
towards-
about this because
I know, but I'm so excited. Did you
You've
guys
reached-
know
We're
you
trying to
guys
keep
know
listeners.
that
Reach your dad limit.
you're supposed to
We
mow
have
your
air
lawn?
filter. We've got grilling.
We've got
We've got a mower. We've got change an igniter. We don't need to do the reseeding.
Yeah,
You're
there
supposed
are
to-
age demographics we're looking to hit.
Yes.
You're supposed to mow your lawn 3 times a week.
No, you're not.
No,
Yeah,
you're
you are.
not.
I
No, you're
watched
not.
so many expert YouTube videos this
Wrong.
weekend.
They're
It's crazy.
wrong.
I also
Yeah,
cleaned.
you probably should change your oil like once every 4 days too.
I haven't done
I'm
that.
sure
in a
that's
year.
better for the car.
That's on
but-
Saturday. The other thing you can do, and I didn't realize this, but you have like these coils at the bottom of your refrigerator that get like super dusty and stuff, and they lose efficiency when they get dusty. So you throw a vacuum under there, and you get all that dust out of the refrigerator coils, and the refrigerator will not only last longer, but it will run more efficiently. Super easy. Anyways, so that was and I finished my dress.
I feel like
It's just been it was an amazing weekend of like I got to the end of the day and I was like, oh my goodness, that was just finished it with the grill, and it was like, this is fantastic. Like, could I want anything more out of a weekend?
I regret so much going after you for this. Cause you go you're so extra with this.
Yeah. Michael's probably getting ready to say what any normal person would say, like maybe they they took their burners out of the stove and cleaned under them or something.
Oh, I
That's
didn't do
literally-
that. I didn't do that.
I like did like a nice clean of the apartment, get it all like good and really clean. I threw away a bunch of crap that I don't need anymore.
See, I did not do that. And
Like-
that's probably what I should have been doing, but that just seems like hard because
But-
throwing away stuff is difficult, man.
It is.
Yeah. Dude, we're talking like clothes, you're talking about items. Like what are some things you got?
I need to go through clothes because there are some clothes that I probably could get rid of. But no, just like little, just junk that gathers over time, papers. I had a bunch of old magazines, and I realized I've got a couple like down here still. I just don't know what to do with them.
Cycle.
Well, yeah, that's what I ended up doing, but like, I don't know.
But like, do you want to keep them for any
Yeah, like you
reason?
get a subscription to a magazine and then you just throw it away when you're done. It feels like a waste. But I don't know what else to
As long
do.
as you read it, as long as you.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so I just threw a bunch of stuff away. It's clean here. It's nice, and I don't know. It's helped this week. I mean, it's weird how much of a different mindset you get in when, like after that's all done.
Yeah.
Dude, it's almost like in the morning when you like take a shower and you get dressed during the pandemic, right? You take a shower and you get dressed and you actually put on like some real clothes in the morning before work. It's like this. It's like the same.
For like a year now.
I do it like once every 4 months.
That's foreign.
It's like the same thing though. It's like now you're in this clean environment and you want to make sure it stays clean. Like you don't, like I totally 100% see exactly what you're saying.
It immediately improves your mood and your energy, and it's something like if a kitchen's dirty, I don't feel like cooking.
Right.
Like I hate cooking
Absolutely.
when the kitchen's dirty. I have to clean the kitchen first. And if you're able to keep that kitchen clean throughout the week, I notice that like I'm cooking and spending a lot more time making healthy meals. And that, of course, now creates this domino effect to even better improve my mood. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. And I also agree that this year is not a normal spring. So I think that not only does it deserve better cleaning for that reason as far as this mental reset, but we probably have compiled so much more junk and crap over
Exactly
the
what I
last year
learned.
because we've been spending so much more time at home. So I'm sure our listeners are also feeling an urge to reset and clean.
But yeah, just want to bring that up. It was nice. I like the different branding for it. It's great. It's gonna catch on.
Spring trademark. We need to trademark that shit.
Trademark spring reset. I had one other thing. I don't know if John wants to talk about what he is doing at the end of the week because I don't know. But we've talked before. John and I vaccinated. We are ready to slowly begin assimilating back into regular, not regular. I don't know.
The world.
Yeah, we're leaving the house finally.
Reconciliation.
Yeah. So I went back to the movies the other day. At this point, like a week and a half ago or so. Gonna go back again this week. It's so nice, man. I don't know.
What was it? What were you like? You had a mask on, I assume.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
I went mask, and I did buy popcorn and a drink, so I would just like pull it off to like drink and then put it back on. There were about like 8 to 10, I think I said, people in the theater when I went. I did like the earliest possible showing you could do. It was like Friday. I took the day off. Went Friday at like 11:30, 12 o'clock, something like that.
Matinee.
Yeah. It was nice.
Does a matinee have to be on a Sunday?
No, it was Friday. So.
But I mean, the term matinee, I'm forgive my ignorance here.
I think it's just afternoon.
It's just afternoon. It's not like a Sunday
I think it's what it's
afternoon showing.
become. I think it typically was like a Saturday or Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now it's basically just like afternoon.
Got it.
So yeah, it was good. $6 tickets. Got the
Can't beat
popcorn.
that.
No, that's great.
$6 tickets. Yeah.
Go back to it this weekend. And
did you find yourself nervous? So I'm thinking about going to the Cubs game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which obviously like I've been in sporting events. Like I think it's safe. Like I'm fully good.
Yeah.
Vaccinated. Johnson didn't have any blood clots, and like I'm a little nervous about like just. Again, like I'm going to wear my mask, but like what happens if the people around me don't wear their mask? Like, and I don't know that I care. So today we were on a walk and we turned the corner and there was just like mom and this kid on the bike, like went right by us and we didn't have time to put on our mask. There was like no one on the street. Usually we just like walk and we'll just like walk in the street or cross the street. Like we're pretty good at staying the hell away from people. Right. And I was like, well, I'm vaccinated. So I guess I'm fine. Like I don't like that attitude, but it was like a whatever. I had no choice. Like it happened. I held my breath and walked fast. Basically, right. What I did.
I was a little nervous because that's how I'll put it, is like nervous. I guess there were, of the 10 people, there were 2 other people who sat on like on the ends of the row basically that I was in.
You sat in the middle.
I did middle seat because you also pick your seat.
Oh.
So I selected kind of in the middle of the theater, middle of the row.
Were you annoyed that people, because you were blocked in, so did you have to go to the bathroom at all? Like how did you get out?
No.
Oh, okay. Got it. That's dumb of them that they allow more than 2 people a row. Like if there are only 8 people in a theater, they should only allow 2 people a row.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But yeah, neither of them, I think they were both basically using, or both. I think it was like one couple and then like another person by themselves. But they were all using basically the excuse of like, oh, we're having snacks at the movies, to just not wear a mask the entire time.
Yep.
And so like that kind of, I don't know if I'd say made me nervous as much as I'd say it just like annoyed me. It was like, come on, like people at this point, you should know better. But.
And in theory, you should be protected too. I mean, obviously there's always some risk, but you should be protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm nervous about it. We'll see. I mean, I think the reason I wouldn't go isn't because I'm nervous. I think I've been around plenty of people at work. Like it's not like, I mean, I've been around hundreds of people.
Right.
I think so. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mostly found myself annoyed because it's the first time I was really back out in like regular life in any real way, and realizing that like, yeah, people aren't really. Not that they're not taking it as seriously, but they're not, like the people in line with me, like the people in line behind me were not standing like 6 feet away from me. Like little things like that really probably don't matter all that much now that I'm vaccinated and stuff like that. But
I actually found the other day that and this was before I was fully vaccinated. I was in line for something. God, I can't remember what. And I think it was when I was getting vaccinated, actually. It was the line I was waiting in. And I was like, oh shit. I like realized like, oh shit, I'm like 2 feet behind this person.
Yeah.
Like it's just been so long. Like, when this whole thing started and there were like the arrows on the grocery store aisles and there were like the little stickers on the ground of where you're supposed to stand. And I think for the most part, people stood in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's been so, like, I just forgot. Like, I was like standing there, I was like, oh shoot. Like, do I subtly back up a little bit? Like, what do I do? I totally like brain fart here and just like started walking because
Yeah, I think that's a perfect example of how we're truly getting back to normal with the fact that, John, you I'm sure have been very disciplined and aware of your surroundings through all this, and the fact that you were, you realize, wait, oh crap, I need to be here. It's, instinct took over for a second. Um, and I think I told Carvelli about the same thing that happened to me probably about 2 weeks ago, where I had ordered some food. It was delivered outside, and I've been doing that for a year now. Obviously, my mask on, their mask on, all good. And I still, of course, put my mask on and go down to get the food. And the person handed me the food. I grabbed it, and I like went back inside and started to go up the stairs. And at that point, it hit me. It was like, wait a second, were they wearing a mask? And I had to think about it for a second, right? And I thought about it, I was like, oh wait, they weren't wearing a mask. And it's funny because like 6 months prior, the same scenario,
you wouldn't have gone near them.
Well, the same scenario played out 6 months prior, and like, I mean, I went near them, I had a mask on, whatever, but it definitely stood out to me. I realized immediately, like, boom, I was like, oh, whoa, that person doesn't have a mask on. I grab the food, I go upstairs, I tell Francis right away, like, holy crap, our DoorDash person didn't have a mask on. Like that's crazy. But 3 weeks ago, it was, my mind has changed.
Right.
And there's been all this talk about can society ever return to normal after mask, and what sort of impact is that going to have on us mentally and socially. And I think the fact that I almost so easily just like was okay with that, I think that's a good sign for what's to come.
Man, what's the craziest thing that you guys did in terms of like cleanly? Like I feel like I don't wash my hands as much anymore. Like I'm just not, like, I remember there was a point in April, we were still in Seattle. We went grocery shopping and we got all the groceries inside, and literally each grocery we had Clorox wipes, and we wiped down every single grocery, and then we put it away.
Francis's parents do that, and we did that for a while too. And I think our parents, which obviously they've been extra safe around us with with Francis being pregnant, but I think even as recently as a month or two ago, they still have been doing that, with the groceries.
Yeah, we did it a few times. I feel like we stopped maybe when we got to Chicago and the stuff was like more clear. It was airborne and not as much. But like that, it's a good example of how this thing has like morphed, right? I mean, I remember
I would hold my breath when I would walk by people. Even though I had a mask on, like if there's a group coming up on me on a sidewalk and this was like early COVID situation, I would like intentionally not breathe in or breathe out while I walked by them.
And like grocery stores, I remember going to grocery stores really early on and being horrified to go near people. Yeah. I was like, I'm not, like, I'm staying far away. I need the broccoli there, but you're staying there. I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm not doing it. I mean, it's just crazy how things have changed when really we're not any better than we were, other than, like, I'm vaccinated.
Right.
But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's going to be wild to see. I mean, the vaccination numbers look good. What is it? Like just recently it was like, 4.6 million people were vaccinated over the weekend. Maybe it's like that. Obviously the Johnson & Johnson stuff isn't great, but I mean, still, like, I think hopefully we're still moving in a good direction.
Yeah. But I think the thing that I worry about with it is like, there are a certain number of people who just weren't going to do it. You know what I mean? And I worry that that's just going to keep it from being where it needs to be in terms of like getting to that overall like herd immunity.
Right. But doesn't, again, this is not my area of expertise, but doesn't the herd immunity, the target changes as, let's say that, okay, so
as the cases go. Yeah.
Well, okay. So if we have 330 million people in this country, the numbers that were needed for us to achieve herd immunity was, what was it, 60-70% of the population needed to get COVID or whatever.
I think it was like 80%.
I thought it was 70 to 90.
Okay, 70 to 90. Okay, so right now, let's say that 2/3 of the country decides to get the vaccine, and we're sitting here with 200 million people vaccinated, and out of the
67%.
330 million or whatever, it's, rough estimate. So let's say there's 100 million people that are not vaccinated, and let's say that doing the numbers, 15 or 20% of the population has had COVID. So let's go ahead and say, okay, 20 or 30 million of those have had it. You're only talking about that population that's left.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and the interesting
like
thing there, though, it's like, when did they have COVID? If it's only 90 days, and then how long does that hurt him? Like, you have a window, and then worldwide, it's a whole different beast, and it's just, yeah, that's it's overwhelming a little bit, and it's
the reality is, if that 100 million people sitting there decide to not get it, look, first of all, that's a massive number. I hope I'm way off on that.
Yeah.
But let's say that's the number. They're just going to just continually live their lives and pass it amongst each other, as mask laws are not going to be what they were, and obviously social distancing is not going to be what it was, and travel is going to pick back up. They're just going to pass it among each other as all these different variants come and go, and we're going to be dealing with this for years.
Yeah, and the scary thing is, like, one, I have 2 points. One, is you're going to have there's going to be a person who gets the vaccine and just gets unlucky and gets COVID.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's going to happen, and it's going to suck for that person because they did everything right and someone did something wrong. The other thing that's incredibly frustrating, I don't know if you guys notice this, but there are people, and, like, you see it a lot on social media, who since the beginning have not cared at all, and somehow they have not gotten COVID.
Yep.
It's like, what?
Oh, they have. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. It just hasn't.
I mean, how many people get it and are asymptomatic?
It just hasn't affected them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But fine. But maybe they haven't, because they
want them to suffer. You want them to suffer a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It's tough, but and again, my understanding of the 90% effective rate, 95% efficacy, that's against severe symptoms.
Yeah.
So, like, you're still talking about a 5 to 10% chance of getting severe symptoms. There's a higher percentage, I'm pretty sure, of still contracting COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some studies about that. It's like changing, it's like evolving and stuff all the time.
And
like,
first of all, let's just, my last comment on all this is, like, as frustrating as it is that, like, the CDC is unable to give us this, like, black and white clear information about these things, that's just not reality. We can't expect that to be the case.
Right.
All of this is being researched, and what, as we learn, we learn new things, and it changes. So it's like, as frustrating as it is, like what you just said, John, about, like, well, that more info's coming out of that may change. Like, it's frustrating.
But that's science, though. That's science.
But that's science. That's what it is.
I was having a conversation, I might have been with my mom about this, but I was like, it's so interesting because our generation hasn't lived through something like this, where, like, it was new, like there was a novel virus. So we're just used to, like, oh, like Ebola. Well, we know about Ebola because it's been around forever. So everyone knows how to stop Ebola. Or the flu. The flu's, like, always been around. Like, the flu's never concerned me. But
it also just add in our general, like, immediacy of social media info right now, straight from the source. Right. Like, it just created this expectation that is how this should be.
And no one in our generation was used to a virus that changes. Everyone's just used to, okay, Ebola, here's what you need to do, or the flu, you need to, like, stay away from people and wash your hands. No one understood that this new virus, like, it can change, or like chickenpox, like there's a chickenpox outbreak. Well, everyone knows what to do. Don't touch the person.
And there's certain ways that it's more spread than others versus, surface versus, water vapor. Like, it's also different.
So I think people got frustrated. I think we all got frustrated. And I think but it's so interesting to live through it, because now, just think about it, for the next, however long we live, like, whenever there's a virus now, it's gonna be like, oh shit, do we know anything about this thing? And if there is another novel virus that comes along, it's not going to be this, we're going to question things. So when we're told not to wear a mask, we'll be like, wait, are we sure we shouldn't wear a mask? Like, what happens if this actually is airborne? I mean, I'm serious. I'm not saying that in, like, a negative way.
Naive, John.
It's just fascinating. It's really fascinating how it plays out.
If our society had the ability to, like, critically think like that, we wouldn't have this problem in the first place. Right. Yeah. I was thinking, we're going to be so much better then. People are going to, like, think, well, before it was mostly transmitted, through air, and the CDC would have us quarantine for like 10 to 14 days. What's it going to be now? Yeah, 'cause that's what everyone's going to be saying, John.
Yeah.
Fair point. As I asked Carvelli earlier via text, why do people suck? We can leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're getting closer, I guess. Every week we do this, which is always good. It's good to get to talk about a little bit of normalcy. So I don't know. Anything else you guys wanted to get to before I think we pretty much covered everything, but
Everything, man.
We got to get Johnny R to bed soon, he said.
that's true. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
I got an hour. I got an hour.
But yeah, so that's all.
I
we
go to
got
bed early. What time do you guys go to bed at? Like, let's talk about this really quickly. Hey, Carvel, you go to bed like 2 a.m. Nick, what time do you go to sleep at?
It's not 2 a. Okay, no, it's not 2.
What time do you go to sleep at?
It's like 1.
It varies.
Okay, Nick.
It's a big window for me. Some nights it's 9:45. Some nights it's 11. Usually split the difference and say like 10:20, 10:30.
That's fair. I'd say like some nights I'll stay up late. I'm just on this kick right now that I love waking up and feeling like so refreshed in the morning.
I wish I could fall asleep early. I want to.
Melatonin, man. It's an amazing thing.
You can.
I can't.
You can.
I've tried.
You can.
Melatonin.
You've convinced yourself you can't. So you
Then
can't.
how does that? Well, this is
Convince yourself you can.
Can I
next week's episode?
can I have you should try this. Okay. One, get some melatonin.
No, don't do that.
Hold on. Let me know.
All natural, baby.
Get some melatonin is natural. It's actually produced by your body.
Okay,
You're just
I know.
adding additional melatonin in your body.
And your body then relies on that to be produced.
Get some chamomile tea. Okay.
I'm fine with
honey.
tea.
Throw some honey in there. Okay. Take it to your bedroom. Put it on your nightstand. Okay. Get a book.
All of this are things that work for one person and not the other. Ignore all of that. It is about creating a routine. That's all it is. Creating a routine. And winding yourself down before bed, creating a routine. Now, the items that John mentioned, maybe a book, maybe tea, maybe a warm bath. Those things are a part of creating the routine, sure. But the idea is if you create that routine, you're going to trigger that natural melatonin in your body to do its job, and it's going to put you to sleep. Okay. John's natural routine is just to feed the body melatonin, which, I guess that works.
It works, though.
But I don't know what sort of long-term effects will come from that.
So if the routine is like in about an hour around 10:30 Eastern time, I'm going to get a text in our group chat that's like, hey, we're playing FIFA.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be something you'd want to partake in.
And I play for like 2 hours.
And also, this takes time. You can't just snap your finger and all of a sudden be able to fall asleep at 11, even though you've been going to bed at 1. But you can slowly work it up. Maybe tonight's 12:50. Maybe tomorrow's 12:40. Maybe next week's 12:30. Just work it up.
We'll try. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
You just gotta.
It's not going to happen.
The topic for next week. We'll talk about it more next week.
I'll come with a plan. I'll come with a sleep plan.
Please do. Because I would love to. You guys talk about going to bed early, and I will try. There have been times, a few days, a couple weeks ago, I tried to get in bed by like 10:30.
Love it.
I felt so good about myself.
Such a drastic jump, though.
That's
unrealistic.
I just laid there with the lights off for like an hour, and I couldn't go to sleep. And then I was up until like 1.
That's too drastic of a change. We'll come with a plan next week.
Starts with an M and ends
that sounds great. So yeah, that's all we've got for this week's show, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to rate and review us on whatever app you use. Subscribe to us there or on YouTube. And where can they reach us on the socials, Nicholas?
Phoning it in pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Phoning it in podcast at gmail.com. If you want to send us an email, let us know what you think about the show, or give us a call, leave a voicemail on our fancy number here, 304-627-1889.
Thank you, Daddy Nick. And as always, a shout out to Miguel Silva Leon for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify or Apple Music. We might have a new theme song at some point because he just sent us some heat. We need to get some permission.
Low cover. Low cover.
So yeah, check them out. And that's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.